The following is a paid program for the electronic engine Ionizer, brought to you by Incredible Discoveries and B&G Electronics.
Hello and welcome to another Incredible Discoveries. I'm your host, Debbie Marie. And today we are going to introduce you to the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver, which improves the combustion efficiency of any gasoline engine. Increase gas mileage up to 30% electrochemically. Increase horsepower up to 18%. Reduce emissions up to 60%. Improve combustion efficiency of any gas engine with spark plug wires. Self-install in minutes, no tools required. Extend engine life of old or new cars. Does not void warranty. 24-hour customer service. Unconditionally guaranteed for 10 years. Joining us on our show today is Dr. Lynn Burr, president of B&G Electronics and Arkansas Blue Skies, the manufacturers and distributors of the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver. Welcome to Incredible Discoveries, Dr. Burr.
It's my pleasure to be on your show today. Thank you, Debbie, and Incredible Discoveries for inviting me. I'm excited to have the opportunity to introduce the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver to your audience. I believe your audience will be very excited and interested in the electronic engine Ionizer when they see how well it makes gasoline engines perform and how much it will save them on gas.
You know, when I first heard about the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver, I thought, here we go again, another product that's supposed to increase my car's fuel efficiency and performance. I must admit, I was somewhat skeptical, but then I saw how effective the engine Ionizer really was, and not only was I impressed, I became a believer.
The electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver truly is a remarkable device. This simple device really works. It makes any gasoline engine with spark plug wires more efficient, adds more power, reduces pollution, and extends the engine's life. There have been over 6 million sold, and just about everyone is pleased with their Ionizer.
It's just incredible that this was first developed on the market over 30 years ago, and now it's back on the market. I mean, there couldn't be a more appropriate time to be reintroduced. In fact, with rising gas prices, I'm surprised that car manufacturers aren't using the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver in their new vehicles.
In the past, car manufacturers did not appear to be interested in fuel savings and longer running cars enough to incorporate the technology. Now there seems to be a great interest in the possibilities that the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver provides, because it could help the car manufacturers meet government requirements.
Now, when you talk about helping car manufacturers meet government requirements, what exactly are you referring to?
The electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver improves gas mileage up to 30% and lowers toxic emissions up to 60%, both important concepts for auto manufacturers.
Those are pretty impressive figures. And I remember reading that the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver can also increase your car's horsepower by up to 18% and give you a cleaner engine in the process. I mean, how does it clean your engine?
The electronic engine Ionizer works in two ways to clean your car's engine. First, by burning more of the fuel. There's less left to stick to the insides of the engine after combustion. And second, by being more efficient, it creates more of the desirable results of combustion: carbon dioxide and water. The water is turned into superheated steam, which cleans the inside of your engine.
Better mileage, less toxic emissions, cleaner engine, and more horsepower? That's a winning combination right there. How does this little device do all of those things?
Here's how the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver works.
Okay.
Let me get a pen. Okay. When a spark plug fires in the combustion cylinder, there is an electrical charge that develops over the outside of the spark plug wires. Then this device, the capacitor block, picks up that charge and transfers it to all of these other cylinders. In one of those cylinders, fuel is coming in. And when the fuel becomes so dense, then that charge dissipates through the fuel, which changes long-chain hydrocarbons into short-chain hydrocarbons. Such things as butane, propane, benzene, acetylene, These burn much more readily and increases combustion efficiency. This translates into better fuel mileage, which is economy, more horsepower, easier starting, less pollution, which is lowered emissions, and a smoother idling and running engine.
So the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver increases fuel efficiency, boosts horsepower, and reduces toxic emissions. How do I put one in my engine?
How many cylinders does your car have?
I have a 4-cylinder SUV, but why is it important to know how many cylinders my car has?
There are electronic engine ionizer fuel savers made for all sizes of gasoline engines, from 2-cylinder, 3-cylinder, 4-cylinder, even 6, 8, 10, and 12-cylinder gas engine.
Okay.
Everything from lawnmowers to all sizes of cars and trucks, to boats, personal watercraft, and even snowmobiles.
Now, what if I owned a diesel-powered car or truck? Could I still use the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver?
The ionizer works only on engines that have spark plug wires.
Okay.
And since the diesel engines have no spark plug wires, you could not use the ionizer on a diesel engine. Sorry, diesel engine owners.
With quite a few alternative fuels now being introduced, will the ionizer work with any in addition to gasoline?
In addition to gasoline, the ionizer works well on alcohol, propane, even ethanol, because these fuels use plugs to detonate them.
Okay, so what if my car is still under warranty? Will installing an electronic engine ionizer affect my warranty?
No. For a warranty to be voided, the company must show how the product could or did harm the vehicle. That's never been done with respect to the electronic engine ionizer in the history since 1970. It's really easy to install the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver. It can be done in minutes and no tools are required. If this was the spark plug wire, and that's the spark plug, you take an capacitor block of the engine ionizer and place it on the spark plug wire close to the distributor or coil packs with the arrow pointed toward the spark plug. Then you simply click the ionizer over the spark plug wire.
Okay.
You do that then with each successive block until you've gotten to all of the spark plug wires. For even better response, we put a nylon zip tie around each of those to hold them tightly onto the spark plug wires.
Okay. Well, that was simple enough. Now, am I ready to go? Is there anything else that I should do?
You're ready to go.
Okay.
During the first 2,000 or 2,500 miles, the idle may have to be reduced a time or two if it's adjustable on your vehicle to maintain safety and prevent dieseling.
What do you mean by dieseling? I thought that the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver didn't apply to diesels.
Dieseling refers to an engine running after it's been shut off. This increase in RPM is an indication that the ionizer is working. If your vehicle is computerized, it will adjust the motor's performance to take advantage of the electronic engine ionizer benefits. This includes automatically adjusting the idle speed. Many vehicles idle much better and smoother with the ionizer installed and run in for about 1,000 miles. On vehicles with computers, you can speed up the process of the computer taking advantage of the changes the ionizer is making by letting the computer reset itself. To do that, start the engine with the ionizer installed, let it run for at least 10 minutes with the ionizer installed. Shut the engine off, take the negative terminal off of the battery post, and leave it off for about 1 minute. Reconnect the battery terminal, that's all. You may have to reset your clock and maybe your favorite radio stations.
All right, well, that's not too bad. Now, are there any other things that I should do to make sure I get the fullest benefits of the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver?
Be sure that the spark plug wires are not touching any metal on the engine or each other. Replace the ignition wires if they're faulty. This is a frequent problem on ionizers that don't perform well. Carbon ignition spark plug wires often don't last more than 25,000 miles. Other solid wires may need to be replaced every 50 or 75,000 miles. Replacing the gas filter if you've not done so within the last maybe 10,000 miles. And cleaning the battery posts and connections, that really helps. you may be able to use even a lower octane fuel, which is less expensive.
That's great. Earlier you mentioned that the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver would last at least 10 years if properly installed. Now, did your company back up this statement with some kind of guarantee?
Yes, the Ionizer has an unconditional 10-year guarantee, and it's guaranteed to perform to the customer's full satisfaction, or the full purchase price will be refunded. Once people put them on correctly, they don't want to take them off because they work so well.
I understand that, and an unconditional 10-year guarantee certainly shows how much faith you have in your product and should make anyone who buys it feel very confident in it as well. Now, before we tell our viewers how they can get their own electronic engine ionizer fuel saver, let's hear from some people who have used it and swear by it.
I have a 1982 Chevy 1-ton 4x4 dually work truck with a V8 350 engine. It is my tree service work truck, and I usually pull a 6,400-pound chipper with it. Before installing the electronic engine ionizer in July this year, I was getting 7 to 7.5 miles per gallon, and it pulled good. Now with the ionizer, it gets 10 miles per gallon regularly and has a lot more power. I also put an ionizer on the wood chipper motor. Within a few hours of use, it started running better and better. I believe it runs on a third less gas for a day's work now. My wife Pat drives a postal mail route. I put an ionizer on her work car. She can really tell the difference. Now I'm putting ionizers on my collection of Trans Ams, one after another. I ride my bike, a Suzuki 1500, every day. I'm getting 110 miles on every tank of gas. After we put the ionizer on, I filled up. I now have 125 miles and still have gas left. I'm going to put one on my wife's bike.
We've shown you how the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver can improve the fuel economy of any gas engine up to 30%.
Important news update on the electronic engine ionizer. An independent automotive engineer has just completed tests on 5 cars. This report finds that the electronic engine ionizer improved fuel economy, power output, and exhaust emissions. See what the experts already know. The electronic engine ionizer works.
Du kan beställa denna fantastiska produkt på Ashman Group AB på www.ashmangroup.com eller på telefonnummer 08 50 30 61 50 eller faxnummer 08 50 30 61 51. Tack för din beställning.
With all of its good features, in addition to improving gas mileage by up to 30%, the savings that such increased fuel efficiency would mean to the average driver would be reason enough to use the electronic engine ionizer fuel saver. Anyone who has a car or wants to save money on gas should be interested in the ionizer.
I agree. Saving money on the gas is a big motivator in getting people to try the ionizer.
I think it might be interesting for our viewers to see how the ionizer is used with a broad variety of gasoline engines for a multitude of purposes. Take a look.
That was easy. I can do that.
Okay, this is a 1998 Ford Mustang, and this is the coil pack set. It's a 6-cylinder, so to put these on, we put the arrows pointing away from the coil, so they're going toward the spark plugs, and we make sure we get them on the right direction. And we place one of these blocks on each of the wires. Now you'll notice that there is the corrugated insulation already on these wires. If you don't have that on your spark plug wires, you might consider it, because it sure does keep them from touching any metal and from touching each other. Okay, that's the last one. Now, to finish the installation, we would just put a nylon zip tie around each of these capacitor blocks. That just holds them in place. That's all it takes for a good installation. That will take less than 2 minutes, as we just saw, and that will give you better fuel economy, up to 30%, better emissions control, and more power. Now, this we're going to install on a 1992 Honda Accord. Here are the coil packs. There are the 4 spark plugs under there. So we just put the arrow facing the spark plugs, and we'll put all 4 of those right in here. Now, it doesn't hurt. In fact, they make extra spacers by putting these side by side so that they're touching each other. That doesn't cause a problem. That's a good installation. Then in this case, you would put a nylon zip tie around each one of those blocks, just to hold them in place long term. So that would be finished.
So let's hear from some people who drive different kinds of cars, what they have to say about the results that they are getting with the Ionizer.
Before installing the engine Ionizer on my '88 Lincoln Town Car, I checked my mileage over 10 tanks of gas. I averaged 17.1 miles per gallon. I installed the Ionizer kit, which took about a minute. I soon noticed the engine response was quicker and seemed to have more power. I checked the mileage on my next 10 tanks, and they averaged 19.7 miles per gallon. The engine also seems to run smoother and idles a little faster. Since I travel extensively with my newspaper business, the savings on gas consumption is considerable. Thanks for turning me on to this ingenious little product. Since installing the Ionizer on our 1994 Plymouth Voyager, we are getting 80 to 83 more miles out of a tank of gas. Thank you. I put the Ionizer on my '78 Chevy pickup with a 350 4-barrel. I'm getting faster starts, better gas mileage, and actually having to let up on the gas pedal to stay within speed limits. By the way, my speedometer has turned over twice, so this engine has more than 200,000 miles on it.
I love how excited people are over their electronic engine Ionizer fuel savers. Also, there is 24-hour customer service available to Ionizer owners by calling 1-800-967-0452.
Important news update on the electronic engine Ionizer. An independent automotive engineer has just completed tests on 5 cars. This report finds that the electronic engine Ionizer improved fuel economy, power output, and
Du kan beställa denna fantastiska produkt på Ashman Group AB på www.ashmangroup.com eller på telefonnummer 08 50 30 61 50 eller faxnummer 08 50 30 61 51. Tack för din beställning.
We're back. I'm Debbie Marie, your Incredible Discoveries host, and this is Dr. Lynn Burr, president of B&G Electronics and Arkansas Blue Skies, manufacturers and distributors of the electronic engine Ionizer Fuel Saver, our featured product on today's show. We've demonstrated how the electronic engine Ionizer Fuel Saver increases a gasoline engine's fuel economy, boosts its horsepower, and reduces its toxic emissions. I think it might be interesting for our viewers to see how the Ionizer is used with a broad variety of gasoline engines for a multitude of purposes. Take a look.
Hey Debbie, I gotta say the Ionizer's added some fun to my motorcycling. As you can see, this motorcycle was made for long distance driving, for touring, for putting on some miles. The Ionizer literally has given me what I would say is equivalent to a free quarter tank of gas with the increase of mileage. I've increased about 25% of my fuel mileage, and I've also noticed a tremendous increase in my horsepower. I definitely recommend the Ionizer to any motorcycle enthusiast. Who doesn't like improved performance or increased gas mileage? I mean, we do like to spend more time on the road than we do in the gas stations. This is George Randall for Incredible Discoveries. People who know cars and know performance are probably the best people to try the electronic engine Ionizer. They know more about how their cars perform. We have this early 60s Ford Beauty here, and its proud owner Steve, who's going to tell you a little bit more about it.
This is a 62 Ford Galaxy 500 two-door. It's got a V8 engine. It's got the 292 cubic inch engine. and it's a low mileage original car, and the Ionizer worked really great. It boosted the performance. The idle on the car was improved considerably, and the gas mileage should improve, but these old cars today, we don't drive them enough to be overly concerned about the gas mileage. But the other two factors, the increase in horsepower and the smoothing of the idle, sure helped a lot.
It is really amazing how well the Ionizer works with any gas engine. We have seen it used on everything from a 2-cylinder engine to an 8-cylinder. One thing we haven't seen is how it enhances the performance of watercraft with gas engines.
As we know, weather and water take a toll on these engines, especially salt water. It reduces the fuel efficiency, reduces performance. The Ionizer can only help. We installed an Ionizer on this old 6-cylinder Evinrude, and Mark here, the owner, is going to tell us all about it.
Well, George, I got approached by the company a few weeks back, and they promised me all kinds of great things, so I tried it out, and I'll be amazed that I used to be able to make Fort Lauderdale in one run, but always had to stop for gas on the way back, depending on where I started from, and it just got really maddening after a while. The Ionizer has not only improved the engine performance, I get better gas mileage. It used to spit and sputter. It doesn't spit anymore. It was actually considering trading it in a few weeks back, but now I think I'll keep her. It's just been a great product for me.
And there you have it, another satisfied situation with the Ionizer. George Randall, Incredible Discoveries.
We have seen the Ionizer in action on everything from a 2-cylinder engine to an 8-cylinder engine. And I understand that it is also made to accommodate engines with 10 and 12 cylinder. Isn't it rather unusual to have a 10 or 12-cylinder engine? What would they be used for?
Some cars and trucks are made with 10 or more cylinders for more power. The electronic engine Ionizer fuel savers are available by special order and will be shipped within 7 days of processing such an order.
Okay, now we have covered the whole gamut of gasoline engines, and there's an electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver to improve the efficiency and performance of every one of them. Dr. Burr, remind our viewers again just how the Ionizer works.
The electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver is technically complex but structurally simple. Patented and trademarked device that attaches to the spark plug wires of any gasoline-powered spark-ignited engine. When a spark plug fires, the capacitor block attached to each spark plug wire picks up a high-voltage, low-amperage charge, sometimes called a corona charge. This charge is transferred from the firing cylinder to the other non-firing cylinders by a harness wire. This charge causes a partial breakdown in the large hydrocarbon molecules in the cylinder that's filling with fuel, and this results in increased combustion efficiency. This translates into better fuel mileage, that's economy, more horsepower, easier starting, and less pollution, lower emissions. You can see why we are so excited about the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver. We truly believe that if enough people started using the Ionizer, we can cut the gasoline consumption in this country significantly, which will also lower the cost of fuel to the consumer.
And I like the idea that the Ionizer reduces toxic emissions by up to 60%, making it a very environmentally friendly device. Dr. Burr, I have really enjoyed learning about the electronic engine Ionizer fuel saver. It is an amazing device, and it should be on every car. Now let's go ahead and tell our viewers how they can order one or more for their vehicles.